Welcome to Alec and Dave Talk About Shit. This is a special Chicago Bulls post-trade line edition, which we are dubbing Alec and Dave Talk About Bullshit. Dave, the trade deadline has passed, and the Chicago Bulls have made more trades in season this trade deadline than they have for the past 5 years combined, I believe. So, could you give us a rundown of what the fuck just happened?
Yes, I can. I have it pulled up. So we lost. For people who actually played on the Bulls, we lost Kobe White, Nikola Vucevic, Ayo Dosunmu, Kevin Herter, Dalen Terry, and Julian Phillips. So we lost six players, half of our roster,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and we gained Jaden Ivey, Rob Dillingham, Colin Sexton, Anthony Simons, Leonard Miller, Nick Richards, Gershon Yabusele, and 9 second-round picks, which is
Oh,
unfathomable.
I mean, 9 second round picks. 9 second round picks. I feel like that could just become the anthem of like it feels like it sums up what it is to be a Bulls fan so well. To just say we traded half the roster, we got 9 second round picks.
Um, at least
But
I will say this: at least we didn't send picks away for worse players, which we have seemingly done a lot in
we
the
did
past 15
We
years.
did. That is the one upgrade that I will give AK and Mark Eversley over Garpax. Is like Garpax actually did. It should be said, Garpax did draft a little better than AK and Eversley have drafted. They drafted Markkinen, who needed time to develop, but is the star of the Jazz. They drafted Carter, who's a solid role player. Like they drafted Kobe White, I believe. Yeah, like their drafting skills were fine. However, when they traded people, they would be like, "Hey, we're going to get Cam Payne, who wasn't even as good as he turned out to be a couple years later. This was like 23-year-old Cam Payne who couldn't stay on the floor. We're going to trade for that dude, and we're going to give you a player that's better and a second-round pick for Cam Payne," which was crazy. So at the
It made me
very
so
least,
mad.
AK doesn't do that. AK and Eversley are, at the very least, not
Now,
superfluously
at least they're
throwing
not
in
doing
second
that
round picks.
now. I'm not going to
That's
say they
true.
haven't done that before.
That's true. They're not doing that now. And also now we have a lot of second round picks that we can throw into deals, so we might see this trend continue for the Bulls down the line. Who knows? Who
Uh,
knows? But okay, so I think we should start with who's leaving first, and then maybe we can get to how we feel about the additions. But like, out of those players that left, are there any that you have very strong feelings about?
yes. And there's only one.
Yeah,
Like Kobe White makes sense, right? He's due for a big contract this year. At the end of this year, he's going to get
totally.
paid. We weren't going to pay him. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Vucevic was like 5 years too late. In fact, that's not true. He hadn't been on the Bulls for 5 years, but he's at least two
Got
years.
traded in
He should have been
2021.
traded 2 years ago. He should have been traded
Yeah,
the second DeMar DeRozan left. We should have been like, all right, who wants Vooch? Um,
yeah,
the only one I am upset about is Ayo Dosunmu.
agreed.
And it really, I get it. I get it from a Chicago Bulls perspective. Like, he's too good to waste his time on the Bulls that are obviously doing a massive rebuild. Um, but, like, couldn't we have gotten a first round for him? It feels like we should have gotten at least one rounder
Mm-hmm.
instead of 4 second rounders.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know
Agreed.
why we didn't.
Yeah. I just a quick aside. I feel like this needs to be stated for some Bulls fans out there who, for some reason, seem to think that all of our players are more valuable than they actually are. So we just need to explain. our players for the most part have the low value that they do because they are not like good two-way players. They are like decent to good offensive players some like a lot of the time, and that actually just isn't what the league values that much anymore. So, but Desunmu was, which is why we're saying he's the only one that we considered maybe we should have gotten a first round pick for him, because Desunmu actually is like a two-way player who's good offensively and pretty good defensively. And that's the kind of person you want on a championship roster, you know? Kobe White is like nice offensively, but like he went to Charlotte. Like the contenders don't want Kobe White, right? Because he can't fucking defend at all. He's just kind of a sieve, and then he is like a good sixth man or, you know, a pretty good two guard offensively, and that's it. So like that's what his value actually was, right? Vooch is also a sieve defensively. Like all of our players just have this problem, which is why again it's like the two people that we've gotten the best return for over the past many years, were not our star players. They were Alex Caruso and Ayo Dosunmu, two role players who could actually fucking defend people.
And who weren't overpaid.
And who weren't overpaid. Yes, that is also important. That is also important. But yeah, I agree. And I'm wondering if we didn't get the first because of the fact that he's on like an expiring contract. But it also feels like it would be pretty easy to re-sign him for anybody who traded for him, you know. Especially if he's on a contender.
There's got to be if you're trading for an expired contract, you have a handshake deal done.
Yeah, I even think Kobe White will be in Charlotte past the end of this year. You know.
Oh yeah, if Charlotte, unless something goes wrong, if Charlotte is trading for Kobe White and giving us like picks for Kobe White, then they're gonna sign Kobe White. Like,
for sure,
it's stupid to be like, let's trade for Kobe White so he can play for 3 months and give up real stuff for him. If you're not going to resign, if you're not like excited about him being in the future of your franchise.
Yeah, especially with it, like he's like 25, Dosunmu's 26. You know, these are guys who are entering their prime, basically. So I agree though. Dosunmu's the one that I think we could have, if we really just focused on the fact that a first round pick is probably the best asset to try to get. I think we could have gotten a first rounder for him. I actually am even a little surprised, frankly, that we weren't able to do some kind of package deal with like Dosunmu and Vooch going to the Celtics for Simons, some salary filler, and like a first from the Celtics. You know, something like that. Because Dosunmu fits on a lot of different teams.
Yeah.
He's very versatile. You know, yeah, he could be a valuable asset for a lot of places. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Personally, maybe this is just about how we value second round picks versus how front offices seem to value them. But I would much rather have one even kind of like later, you know, first. Like the Celtics
I would
first
way rather
year.
have I would way rather have a Wolves first round pick, which maybe the reason is they don't have any first round picks. And
it could be. Yeah. I think
like
they did trade a lot
of
stuff.
the Gobert trade. Yeah, because of the Gobert trade, they may not be able to send out any picks. Which makes sense. But like yeah, I could absolutely see the Celtics wanting to Dosunmu and adding in a first round pick for them. I also think this is something I don't know anything about college basketball. So I have read a lot that this draft class is way better than next year's draft class. Draft class 2026 is way better than 2027. So I wouldn't be shocked if some of this is the Bulls going, we want a high draft pick this year, we're tanking right now.
Yes.
Like we are going to start losing games, and we are going to start losing games badly, and we are going to let Jaden Ivey and Rob Dillingham like just make mistakes. And that's how we're spending. Like Giddey might get shut down. Sexton might get shut down. Simons might get
Buzelis. Yeah,
like no, I think Buzelis is going to play. I think he's not good enough to win games.
sure. So he's
And
getting runway.
he needs the
Yeah,
reps. Um,
yeah,
but I would not be shocked if some of the people that we got do not spend much time in a Bulls uniform this year. Simply because we
yeah,
are like, let's lose some games.
yeah, yeah. No, I think I do want to get back to how sad we are about losing Io, but I do think this needs to be said as a big picture thing. I have seen a couple people be like, I shouldn't even say a couple people. What I should say is, I watched a conversation on 104.3 The Score or whatever, the Chicago like radio station, the like talk radio kind of shit, where they were arguing about whether or not these moves collectively were the Bulls trying to tank or get better, and I mean that feels insane to me.
Yeah, they're taking. They're taking.
They are tanking. This
They're
is
taking, but
100%.
they want young assets.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. And this person's only point was they were like, I don't know, like, is Anthony Simons that much worse than, like, Kobe White or something? And it was just sort of like, dude, no, that doesn't, you're misunderstanding, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he is, in particular, is as good or, like, they're throwing together a team that hasn't fucking played together at all. They're also making sure that they have no clear defense,
Yeah.
like, at all. Like,
Oh,
that is the thing. Yeah.
I like Gershon Yabusele. I like
no,
him.
me too. Me too.
He is
Us
he
taking
is
a
not,
flyer on him is great.
I
Yeah.
love that move. He is
Mhm.
not. I was watching him pretty closely last night when the Bulls played the Raptors. And what
Mhm.
I like about him is he seems to be completely out of position like half the time. And I don't know if that was a thing that he was doing in Philly or not. I have no idea. But when
That
he's
Philly
out of
season was
position,
good.
he works his ass off to still try and make a play. Like
Mhm.
he flies around. He like you can tell he cares and he really tries and that could be really nice on a winning team someday. Um,
Yes.
is to
Yes.
just even to just be like, hey, we need 10 minutes. Go try and disrupt some shit. Like let's go. Um,
Get out there. Energy
I
big.
really I really like Yabusele. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I am very interested in. So this is the interesting part to me about what we got back.
Mm-hmm.
We got back 4 point guards.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Our
Yeah.
best player also basically is a point guard,
Oh, yeah.
right?
To be effective,
And
he
so
has to be. Yeah.
I don't. There was no if this was a move to build a roster, if these were trying to build a roster right now, that's insane.
It's a crazy
Like
move.
they need to get if
Yeah.
if AK goes into someone's office and is like, this roster is gonna be sick.
Yeah.
That
You just
that
wait.
he just you need to fire him right now. Like
Yeah. There is no way, there's no way that AK is like, hey, remember that one season where Billy Donovan took the Oklahoma City Thunder with like CP3 and Shea and they had too many guards and he just made it work? What if we just forced him to try to do that again, but with way worse players? Like, there's no way. There's no
yeah, no.
way that was the plan. You know, and you can see who they started yesterday. They were like, we're going to throw out starting like Jaden Ivey and Anthony Simons and Gershon Yabusele. Like they just threw all those new dudes in with like Jalen Smith. I don't even think I think Buzelis might have been in the starting lineup. I don't even really
Buzelis
remember.
was in the starting lineup. And it
He was in the
wasn't
starting
Yabusele
lineup.
came off the bench. But it was
Yeah, Patrick Williams was not in the starting lineup. Oh, I thought Yabusele started because he actually scored like 15 points or something. So
yeah, no, he played well. He played really well.
Yeah. I did not watch the game. I just saw some highlights for it. So yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, this is absolutely a like we have to try to lose more games to get better draft position. And also, let's just take up a flyer on a bunch of guys. Like this is the way I would categorize this is exactly the kind of bullshit that I would do in NBA 2K's franchise mode to try to retool the Bulls. But the difference is in that game, I can like adjust settings to make training more effective to make sure that one of these random flyers like hits. And also, I would have traded for some fucking first round picks.
Yeah.
that's the difference. The difference from me doing a strategy that works in that game to reality is they got second round picks and I would have gotten first round picks because the trading system is not the correct value in that game. And also just we have no idea. We have no idea if any of these people are going to hit. I think personally I have the most hope for Jaden Ivey. I think he's the one person who we got who I was sort of like, you know, okay, like cool.
This is the thing with Rob Dillingham is that he's not getting minutes in Minnesota. He's not on a team where you can play through his mistakes. Jaden Ivey's had. I don't understand why Jaden Ivey's not playing in Detroit, right? Like he's been around longer. He's a pretty good shooter. Like I remember him having chemistry with Cade last year before he got injured, and this year he's just been off to the side completely, and I have no idea why. But
I mean, there was an injury for a bit, but then I don't know.
Yeah. But Zach Lowe talks about Rob Dillingham and is like flabbergasted at how little Rob Dillingham plays all the time. And that makes me intrigued by Rob Dillingham. And that's the only reason. Like
that's fair. That is fair. So I feel like since we're talking about Rob Dillingham, we need to do two things real quick. The first is we just need to say trading Dosunmu we need to get back to that and just say that makes us very sad just as homers because he's a Chicago kid, played in Illinois. It was a good pickup, a lucky pickup in the second round, a real success story, and it was just like really fun to play, to watch play, and I think you mentioned he had like a good relationship with was it DeMar DeRozan? Yeah,
he was the reason I didn't want DeMar to get traded. It's because of how much I loved. How much Io and DeMar loved each other. Like,
yeah,
I wanted to keep DeMar and trade everyone else, Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, but I wanted to keep DeMar so that he could still be Io's big brother. I wanted that so bad.
Yeah. He was a great mentor, you know? Like, we have, I think, understandably, like, mixed feelings in some ways about the DeMar DeRozan era of the Chicago Bulls, but, like, DeMar was never really the problem. Like, DeMar tried his fucking best all the time.
And DeMar,
you know?
DeMar as a person is an amazing person. Like, and I miss rooting for him. And I'm so sad that he's just stuck on the Kings. Like, I want good things for DeMar DeRozan. I don't really feel that way about Zach LaVine.
I don't really. I feel like with Zach LaVine, it's just like, yeah, man, you get paid as much as you possibly can on those Sacramento Kings. You know, pick up that player option, get $50 million more, and then, you know, after that, if you manage to make it to like a good team on a more reasonable contract, I guess I'll be like, cool. But I also like, it's whatever, you know. I feel like the Zach LaVine max extension contract was sort of the cardinal sin of the Bulls last, 5-6 years. So, understandably, I'm more sort of meh about him. But DeMar, I would be like, man, get DeMar to the Thunder somehow, you know?
I want good things for DeMar.
Yeah. I want that dude to, like, get a ring, you know?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
While he's still, like, contributing something, you know? Like, it doesn't have to,
He would be a great sixth-man crunch time guy for a good championship team. Like, he could absolutely play that role.
You know what I would actually love for DeMar? I would love to get him back to the Spurs.
I was just thinking that.
I would love that for him.
Uh,
He got
all
so
the young guys, he would thrive on the Spurs.
he would throw like just trade. I don't give a shit, you know. I'm sure Harrison Barnes has been good. Just trade Harrison Barnes for DeMar DeRozan, like straight up. Like just get him over there. Let him
That would be
replace
the weirdest,
him in
like
that role.
Barnes back, because didn't Barnes play for the
He
Kings
was
for a
also
while?
in Sacramento.
Back to the
Yes.
Kings. Be
But it
the
would also
weirdest
be the
deja
most
vu
Kings
ever.
shit.
Would
It
be
would be the
so
most
Kings.
Kings shit. Oh, if they were just sort of like, you know what? Let's just get Barnes back. We liked him when he was here. Yeah, whatever. Oh my God. Yeah, no. All hopes and prayers for DeMar to get something good in his life, you know, and not be stuck with the Kings. Zach LaVine, I don't give as much of a shit about, but yeah, I'm definitely sad about Dosunmu. Like that one hurts the most for sure. I do feel like every other trade we made was very much people who I'm just sort of like, yeah, I get it. Like they're either not contributing or like there's a very good reason to get rid of them. Like with the Kobe White thing, where it's like, you know, don't let the asset go for nothing, and also don't use all of your cap space next year to sign Kobe White and just
So
be
we
the
could
same
go
team
to the play-in again. Like,
again.
yeah.
Like this, at least changing things is better, and at least having that cap space is better than just not having it and not changing things. That being said, we all know that the Bulls are still not a good free agent destination and have not been for 25 years or so, you know? I think still the biggest Bulls free agent pickup of the past 25 years might still be Carlos Boozer. You know, just a straight up free agent signing. Because like
Yeah,
DeRozan was
no, but
good.
he was a sign and trade.
He was a sign
He
and
was
trade.
a sign and trade. So we convinced him to come, and we sent them some stuff.
Yeah,
To make it work. But
Caruso, maybe you could say, he's in there. But like, great, we have cap space. We can use that in other ways besides just signing people, of course. But it does sort of.
Chicago should be a free agent destination.
It should be.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest cities in the United States. It's got great culture. You have, like, fans that show up.
You got banners.
No matter what. Yeah.
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 You got banners hanging, like,
Yeah. Yeah. There's really, like, it's genuinely shocking how much we have not been a free agent destination since Jordan left, basically. And all of it has just seemed to be like word of mouth around the league, going to players just being like, yeah, I didn't like it there. You know, the front office kind of sucks.
Reinsdorf is known as the cheapest NBA owner alive.
Mm-hmm.
So his unwillingness to pay, like, to kind of overpay for good players, which you have to do in free agency to get the good players to come to your is I think well known in the NBA circles, and it's the real issue. Like, I think so. It's not. I think AK held on to this. So, like, here's my imagining of what happened. Right, I didn't love the Vooch trade in the moment, but because I was like the
2025 one or the 2021.
The 2021 one. The 2021 one.
Yes.
But he had to come out and be like, yeah, we overpaid for Vucevic because we need to start acting like a big market team and attracting more talented players. Exactly. And so I overpaid a little bit to get him in the door, and I'm not sorry. And I was like, I don't agree with you. Like, you could have bargained them down to one first round pick instead of 2 first round picks, right? Like, like you could have put some better protections on those picks. Something could have happened. You could have held the line a little bit longer and still gotten Vooch. But then, because we got Vooch, DeMar DeRozan wanted to come. And I was like, this is starting to make sense. The issue is that.
And Caruso and Lonzo Ball. I don't think we get any of those people without
getting Vooch. And it was partially bad luck because, like, we got Vooch in the door. And then 2 days later, Zach LaVine got COVID, and so because of that, we missed the playoffs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or we missed the play in or something, um, part of that was bad luck on why that pick was so good. And, who's to say we would have actually drafted Franz Wagner, right? I don't know.
Fully agree.
Um, the
Yeah.
Warriors passed on him.
I'm going to say we would not have drafted Franz Wagner. I'm going to go out on a limb.
And so, um, he came out and he was like, this is what a big market team should be doing. This is the difference between us and Denver. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we need to start acting like a big market team. And I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
The issue with us as a big market team is that our owner is still Jerry Reinsdorf, who's cheap as fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I think part of his overspending when he first got there was learning, oh, he's not going to pay for free agents, so I need to get big name player. I need to get good to great players some other way, and the only other way I can is by trading for them.
Right.
Or doing a full rebuild, which I'm sure the ownership didn't want to do.
Yeah. Well, the issue is they were brought in to end the rebuild, right? Like we had already for I want to say starting around 2017 or so, like we had whenever we traded Butler.
Yeah. It was summer of 2017. Yep.
Summer 2017. That is like we were like, okay, we're in rebuild mode now, and we're gonna get Fred Hoiberg and whoever else, and we drafted Markkanen, and we did all this stuff. Like we're gonna this is now the future. So they came in. It had already been 4 years of the rebuild really not going well.
Yeah.
And at that point, like Markkanen was not looking good. Kobe White wasn't good yet. Carter was fine, but not like, he's gotten a little better since then. He's like a solid starter. He's not exactly who I would say is like, is he going to be the starting center on a championship team? No, but he's fine. He's a good role player. So this is actually, okay, I'm really glad that you are talking about the Vucevic trade in 2021 here, because I have a thing that I need to get off my chest about how the NBA media, how NBA fans in general tend to talk about trades. That pisses me off. I don't think it makes any sense. And I don't think it is fair. And I'm going to refer, I was going to bring this up with the Rob Dillingham thing for this reason. I'm going to refer to this article where Michael Pena, who is a great NBA mind, great NBA writer. I do not want this to be like I'm shitting on him at all. It's just he did basically do this twice within this article that I recently read. So I'm picking on him a little bit. But okay, for that Dillingham trade, he writes here, the Wolves had to attach 4 second-round picks to shed Dillingham's contract. For those counting at home, that means Tim Connolly has spent a first-round pick in 2031, a pick swap in 2030, and those 4 seconds on one of the worst players in the league. Okay, no. So this is the thing. Then he follows this up with another point, which is he's doing winners and losers. So then he says loser is Nico Harrison, and he has this tweet in here from this guy Yossi Goslan, I believe also an NBA writer. And Yossi Goslan says, so the Mavericks turned Luka Doncic. So this is after the Anthony Davis trade, right? Turned Luka Doncic into Max Christie, 2029 Lakers first, 2026 Thunder pick, which will be 30th, 2030 Warriors first, if it's between 21 and 30, and 3 second-round picks. That's a generational fumble. Okay, this idea of we can look at a trade, and then when any asset from that original trade gets traded, we can use the transitive property to make it seem like it's the same thing. And be like, okay, those assets are now the thing that got traded for the original asset is really stupid. Stop doing this. It doesn't fucking make any sense. Rob Dillingham did not get traded for these 4 seconds. Those 4 seconds got traded for Ayo Dosunmu. Rob Dillingham was a little bit of sweetener on top for AK and Mark Eversley to be like, hey, we're going to take a flyer on a young guy as well as getting 4 seconds, probably because we failed to get a first that will actually look good for Io DeSunmu. So we want to not just say we got 4 second round picks. But like, they didn't trade Rob Dillingham and 4 second round picks for like some veteran who's wasn't going to see the floor and his contract was expiring. Like the 4 second round picks were not to move Rob Dillingham. You know? You can't now attach those in the future to him and say those are also his fault. Yes, the original trade of 2 first round picks for that guy still looks bad. Okay? But you can't then also say those other things are also now a part of this. In the same way, you cannot say the amount of shit they got for Anthony Davis after Anthony Davis got injured again and needed to be moved because they fired that GM, and his constant presence in the locker room reminded everyone of the worst mistake in basketball history. That like that is also the same thing as just moving Luka directly for the assets that you get from a like depreciated Anthony Davis trade in the future. Like that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Stop doing this. You know, NBA writers. Do you agree with this at all, or am I being ridiculous? I
don't see this as much as you do. It feels like
yeah,
this is like maybe I don't read people who do this, but you seem to be finding this a lot more than I do.
Well, whether you're seeing it or not,
hold on. But here's
principle.
But so if the trades happened within a year, I might consider it. So, like, calling the Mavs' original Luka trade shitty and being like, see how much Anthony Davis's, like, trade value deprecated in 1 year because injuries happened that we all saw coming. Like,
yes.
That to me makes sense. But, like, with the Dillingham situation, I completely agree with you because of the fact that, like, well, no, for many reasons. Number one, I don't want to call a young point guard a bust in his second season. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all.
Yes.
Kobe White was very bad for like 3 years and then started to get good.
Yep. Right around when we gave him a second contract, frankly.
Yeah. And so I think Rob Dillingham has a lot of upside. I'm interested to see what he does. I'm interested to see if this coaching staff, who will let him play through his mistakes, versus a team that was like really genuinely trying to compete for a title, will let him, let him spread his wings a little bit. But I kind of like.
Do you kind of agree about the Anthony Davis one?
I kind of agree about the Anthony Davis trade, but like, I wouldn't agree on the Anthony Davis trade to shit on the current Anthony Davis trade. I believe that was posted to be like, holy shit, what an amazing mistake that was. You know what I mean? So that's kind of that's where I am.
To me though, I still think that's a little unfair. I think, and like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be a person who's defending the Luka trade or Nico Harrison.
Yeah, don't be that guy. Hold on, just take a second.
I'm not doing that. All I'm saying is it's a little unfair to then say the fact that they decided to now trade Anthony Davis for this stuff right now, which they didn't really have to do. Again, unless there was something really toxic going on.
They kind of had to do it.
I mean, in terms of him as a basketball fit, I think it was fine. Like, they aren't going anywhere this year. He could be a good mentor to Cooper Flagg. I think there's basketball reasons to keep him around, for a little bit. I just think, for locker room stuff or just the general perception of him on the team, I get maybe why they had to move him. But either way,
I would be shocked if, like, Anthony Davis wants to spend the last years of his NBA career on the Mavericks, who are definitely rebuilding around Cooper.
Well, he doesn't want to be on the Wizards either.
No, he doesn't. I don't know why. I don't know what the Wizards are doing.
No.
Because it feels like they gave up some like actual kind of assets to get the Trae Young deal. I think made complete sense. They didn't give up anything to get Trae Young.
Yeah,
The
agreed.
Anthony Davis trade, I don't see it at all. I don't get it.
Yeah. I'm like, you
Except
can
for to
say
maybe
those are
make Trey
bad
Young
first,
happy.
but like, why? Why do you care? Just you were taking
I
a
don't know.
flyer on Trey Young anyway. You were gonna see. You gave up nothing to see if he would just like help your team at all. You know, if he could be a guy who fit in. But yeah, to be like, we need to get him a pick and roll combination now is like, I don't what. Why are we doing that? You know?
Yeah, that doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
I don't know. Maybe they
Anyways,
think he'll be a good mentor for Alex Sarr. Either way, the point is, in terms of like this way of talking about trades, I think a thing that we do that is generally like unfair. I think this sort of uh, way of discussing trades kind of points to this is that we in the future after trades are done both look at owners and say you're really stupid for not predicting that this thing would go south. And also at the same time, we have the incorrect bias of saying that Rob Dillingham is a bust now and will continue to be a bust forever. So like we have this bias in our minds of like what's true now will probably continue to be true. And at the same time, fuck you for not seeing the future. You know? I feel like that's the tone that a lot of NBA discourse seems to have. And it's strange, you know, to be like, I think the Rob Dillingham thing is something where at the time, them giving up 2 firsts for him seemed like too much. But there was also general discourse of like, he could be a really good player for them. Like they do need a point guard of the future. Conley is aging. Like Conley basically did also just get traded, you know? There were people who I think said like, it made some sense. They just overpaid a little bit is generally how I remember that trade going down, you know? I don't think a lot of people at the moment were like, Rob Dillingham's trade was a terrible, terrible trade. Maybe a couple people thought it was too much, but again, people were high on him coming in and out of the draft. So to then be like, they should have known he was a bust, and also for sure he will continue being a bust. Let's rag on them. When it's like, you know, who knows?
yeah,
Who knows? He could be good in a couple years, you know? And then, you know, it would have it would have looked okay if they had held on to him or whatever. The Bulls are certainly very aware of situations like that after basically having gotten rid of like Markkanen and several other players who went on to
yeah.
be much better after they left the Bulls, you know? So we know that this can happen as fans of a team that does it all the time, that basically can't develop talent and then sends them someplace and they develop better somewhere else. Anyway, yeah.
That was so sad. That was such a sad monologue. It's such a sad end to that monologue.
This is just what it's like being a Bulls fan, you know? But, like, I do... Okay, so I want to connect this to the Vooch trade, though, by saying also I feel like the 2021 Vooch trade gets this treatment a lot. And, like, I heard Bill Simmons on his podcast the other day call that 2021 Vooch trade like a stealth candidate for the worst trade of the last decade. And like, man, again, it wasn't good, but you just laid out a lot of reasons why it like situation wise, it makes sense.
Yeah.
To do it at the time, you know? And,
I still would put it in my list.
Yeah,
I would.
Here's the only thing. You would, and I think you at the time, I remember texting you about this when it happened. I remember I was a little more excited because I was like, cool, we're out of tank mode now. I'm excited that we're out of tank mode.
And I think my argument was, I'm sick of losing traits.
Yes, and like, also you correctly foresaw that the issue would be having a starting center who wasn't good defensively. And that is, I actually looked back at this. The trade grades at the time, like I got a couple people's trade grades for that in 2021. Like Zach Harper gave the Bulls a B and the Magic an A-. Bleacher Report gave the Bulls a B and the Magic an A-. There was actually SI gave the Bulls an A and the Magic a B+. And their thing was just like, they got the big star or whatever. But Zach Harper and Don Favale both correctly said exactly what you did. They were just like, I get why the Bulls did this. It could be exactly what they need. Also, though, like, Vucevic is not very good defensively, and like it doesn't seem like his presence really leads to winning exactly. So like we're a little worried about that. So that's fine. Like that's all. Basically, my argument for it not being one of the worst trades is just to say, yeah, you can't predict that the Bulls, if they don't have Vooch on the team, are going to get that same draft position and are actually going to draft Franz Wagner. So I don't think it's that fair to go, we gave up Franz Wagner for it. You know, if we're basically saying like the Bulls have been a shitty team since we got Vooch, fine. The Magic have been a slightly better team. That's true. Also, the Magic, have they won a playoff series? No. You know? Is the reason they got to the playoffs 100% Franz Wagner? I'd say it's more that they lucked into the number one pick with Paulo Banchero. But, you know, like, it can't all just be traced back to the Vooch trade. I think it was a good trade for them and a bad trade for us. I don't think it's a bottom 5 trade of all time. You know? Or trade of the last 10 years or something. You know, I think people have been a little harsh on the Vooch trade for exactly the reasons you said, which is just like we got a bunch of good things that happened after that because of the fact that we made the Vooch trade.
Yeah.
And I think that can't be overlooked either. You know?
And then Lonzo Ball's knee just ended. Just knee was gone.
Ended everything. Again, after the only 40-game stretch, roughly, that we felt good about for the past who knows how long as Bulls fans.
Since the Butler trade. Since 2017.
Since 2017. The only 40-game stretch where we felt great. And then Lonzo Ball's knee. Sadly, it destroyed everything.
Just stopped working.
It stopped working. But look, I think the talking about the Vooch trade is a relevant framing device just because it's like, we started tanking, and that was effectively the moment where AK was like, we're not going to tank anymore. And now here we are in 2025, and a different Vooch trade has now signaled that we are once again going to tank. You know? So because of that, I do feel like Vooch for sure embodies more so than any other Bulls player in Bulls fans' minds the mediocrity of the 2020s. And I wanted to ask you, like, do you feel like that's fair? And why do you have a good explanation for why that is? Because like you could argue that Levine might deserve that a little more, or someone else. You know,
I think Levine deserves it the most. If I'm being perfectly honest, the only argue for Vooch isn't Vooch's fault.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's that we for some reason couldn't trade him for the last 2 years. Even though he's now on like a pretty good contract. He's what you want to pay for like a decent center. And so
and that contract I think started a few years ago now, right? So it's not like like if the Warriors or whoever wanted him 2 years ago, like I don't know why that didn't happen. You know, I think he was making like 18 to 20. Maybe
I don't know,
but like
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know either.
And so, I think if I were to point to the Bulls' mediocrity, I think I have to point at Levine and being like a fringe all-star player who really I don't think adds to winning at all.
Yep.
And got paid the big bucks. I think that was the moment. I think when we signed Levine away from Sacramento, I was like, we're going to be bad for a while. Just in my heart, I just knew it.
Yeah. I had that same feeling, man. I really did. I remember this specifically. It was like $78 million or something that Sacramento offered him. And I was kind of like, I don't know that I even want to pay Zach LaVine that much, to be totally honest. And like that was still when he was like, that was a good contract for him. You know, that was before the Supermax.
No, and then he got he didn't get the Supermax, but he got the max. He was never an All NBA.
Oh right, yeah.
But we gave him.
Forgetting the. I forgot. I thought All Star gave you Supermax, but you're right. It's all in. Yeah.
But we gave him the max, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
Did we really need to give him the max?
Mm-hmm. Like, to be
play-in material, like
this was around the same time as like that Bradley Beal deal as well. It was just sort of like bad teams were doing this more, and I think because of Levine and Beal and maybe a couple other people have learned to not do it. But they were just sort of like, you can't lose the asset.
We stopped doing it with Giddey, right? Like I think we've turned the corner on that, and was like, and we played hardball with Giddey, and we need to. We need to play hardball with, like, because like we're not going to be good until we get off this Patrick Williams contract. I'm sorry, we're just not. You can't just throw away $20 million a year on a player who gets like 3 points a game and like doesn't rebound, and can't dribble or pass. Like you can't throw away.
So hard for him to be a role player, just a role player. You know, and he's not that.
And he's not. Like, and he's not. He's not. He's a role player who we should have paid $12 million. Like we signed him being like, but he might be a role player who deserves $12 million, and we signed him for 20 for no reason. No one was fighting us on Patrick Williams. And so until we get past that contract, like, we're not going to be good unless we just hit on the next, Cooper Cup. That's our only way. That's our only way forward. So I'm glad that we are now moving in that direction.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing, the sort of takeaway in general is like, I think that two things are true of this draft deadline. I think all of the trades we made feel embarrassing, and like we deserve to get kind of ragged on a little bit, by like other fans, by the media, or whatever, just for. I saw people being like, they traded all of these players. They didn't get one first-round pick, and not even just only the people who were traded this deadline. They were like, look at this guy. Like, they didn't get one for Levine. They didn't get one for DeRozan. Like, they didn't get one for Caruso. Like, none of these people gave them a first-round pick, which, like, kind of deserved. And the sin, again, is, like, we didn't trade them in time. We should have traded Vooch, like, 2 years ago, We should have, the moment Levine was like an all-star, we should have just been like, who wants him?
Yeah.
Like, get him now, while he's hot. I think having to basically be like, we got second-round draft picks, 9 of them, asset accumulation, is a little embarrassing. But also, thank God the Bulls are not standing pat. Like, thank God the Bulls are not just letting this play out. Again.
If we somehow still end up in the play-in game, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. If somehow... Look, the only way... Actually, okay, here's the only caveat to that. If, for some reason, the reason we are in the play-in is because we're trying to tank, but, like, Ivy and Bucelis somehow together just become like, or Dillingham or whatever, just like start hitting all at the same time and become so good that we can't not make the play-in. Like, that is maybe okay to me. If for some reason all the dudes we took flyers on were working out, fine. But beyond that very unrealistic scenario, I will also lose my goddamn mind if we make the play-in again. Like, I need to see us stealth tank in the way that other organizations seem to be very good at, and for some reason we can't figure out how to fucking do. Like, just follow the Jazz playbook. Who cares?
Giddey.
Just be like,
Giddey shouldn't play another game this year.
Not a single one. He should keep having weird shit happen to like his foot. I don't even care if you actually have to prove it to the league by going in and being like, "Hey
Break
man, we are just gonna hit your foot with a hammer a couple times." We're not going to hurt you too bad.
Look at that bruise. He can't play.
Look at that bruise. We're not going to Tanya Harding you, but like we're going to get close. We're going to get as close as possible without causing real damage. Yeah, just whatever. He's got personal reasons. He's got the flu. I don't care. Just like keep him out. In the same way that the Jazz are just not going to play Markkanen.
I'm sick. Like,
Yep. I don't care,
Uh,
man. Forge some COVID tests. Do whatever you have to do. Just stop Giddy from playing. Is there anyone else we actually even have to stop from playing? I don't think we have anyone else who I'm afraid of winning games for us at this point, right? Like,
yeah.
I guess Simons is fine. Maybe Colin Sexton might end up like winning us a random game just by being really intense. That's the only thing I know about Colin Sexton is like
But
he's fine and he's really intense about shit. So,
we're 24 and 28 right now. I
mhm.
swear, if we get to 30 wins, I'm just shooting somebody. Like it. If we get to
Yeah,
30 wins, I'm gonna be so pissed.
yeah, yeah. No, because that's what we need. We genuinely need to like lose out, basically. You know,
Yeah,
should get
let's let the Bucks pass us by. Let's let the
yeah.
Grizzlies pass us by. Let's let the Mavericks pass us by.
Yep.
And like
We did everything we could to make sure Charlotte did. We were like,
yeah,
here's one of our best players, Charlotte. Really
here,
get over
go
us.
get in the play in.
Leapfrog.
Go.
Go get it. There you go, boy. Go get it.
Go get it.
Go get it, Hornets. It's the play. We love it there. It's so fun there. Just
we love losing to Miami every year in the play-in. Come on, it's your turn.
It's your turn. It's going to be so awesome. You're going to be like, there's no way. All I've got is like Bam and Tyler Hero, but like they're going to do it. They're going to beat you. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it always happens. Oh, man. But yeah, this is what I want for the Bulls. It sucks that like we're still in a situation where we can't quite do it right because of all the mistakes of our past. You know?
Yeah.
Including, frankly, not just trading these players a little earlier, you know? Because it's not like let's remember, this is a trade deadline. This is when a lot of trades happen, but you're not prohibited from trading earlier in the season. You could have just gone, hey, it's 10 games in. Looks like that hot start was a lie. Cool. We all know where this is heading. Let's trade Kobe White. You know, you could have done that right the fuck away. But instead we waited until it's February, and now, you know, I'm guessing draft position, like, we're roughly maybe 10th or 12th or something in line.
We are currently 10th. I want us to get let's let us get 7th or 8th. Come on. We can do it.
Please. And we could use some draft luck, you know? It's been since we've had not amazing draft luck for a while.
We haven't moved up. We've missed the playoffs every year except for one, and we have never moved up.
We've never moved up. Yeah, the Derrick Rose thing was the last time I think we moved up at all.
Yeah, but that was awesome.
It was so sick.
That was some great luck.
It was some incredible, great luck, and I'll always be so grateful for that moment. But yeah. No, I think even the Patrick Williams year where we got it 4th, I think we were slated 4th.
That makes sense.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I think we were bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were very bad. Yeah, I know. It's been consistent. Like, for a while, it was like, oh, we're like 7th to 11th, and that's just no matter what. That's where we are.
Yeah.
So, you know, just come on. Give us the, you know, you gifted the Dallas Mavericks Cooper flag last year for having the 10th position. You know, they're a major market. You know what? NBA, wink, wink. We could use another major market suddenly having a top 3 pick. I think that would be really good for the business of the NBA. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Let's make that happen. Adam Silver, come on. This is how sad our life is. This is my hope is that the NBA is corrupt so that good things happen to us.
It's been so long.
We haven't had anything good for a long time. It is truly one of the more depressing fan bases to be like a diehard fan of. And I say that as someone who, you know, grew up a Cubs fan. And yeah, you know, there are kids now who, since that World Series happened in 2016, don't think of the Cubs as a bad team. But I guarantee you, kids, it was a rough life. It was a rough life until 2016 for us.
Uh,
Oh my god. Well, I think that's all I've
yeah,
got.
we've
Right?
we've hit our low point. It's not getting
We've
lower than
hit.
this.
Yeah, we've made ourselves really sad.
Uh,
So I think that's enough of Alec and Dave talk about bullshit until probably next season. I would think. I don't think there's going to be a reason to talk about the bull. Maybe like the draft lottery
yeah,
is when we will next
or the
discuss,
draft. One of those two
or the
things.
draft itself, or the
Yeah,
draft itself. But yeah, this will be the one and only Alec and Dave talk about bullshit. So if you're an NBA fan, I hope you
don't
also like
subscribe.
movies. Yeah. If you thought we had the best takes ever and you're like, dude, these guys, I gotta follow them for more takes. No,
Uh,
no, you don't. Unless you are also the very slim Venn diagram of NBA fans and Bulls fans who also really care about the Oscars. You're in the wrong place. And I'm very sorry. Very sorry we
uh,
tricked you. All right. We will catch you next time. I think the next episode is going to be us maybe talking about Wuthering Heights.
maybe we haven't
Maybe
decided yet.
we haven't decided yet. But yeah, just in case you really needed proof that you're in the wrong place, NBA fans, Wuthering Heights is maybe our next subject. So get ready for some hot romance. Okay. Love to you all. See you later.
Bye.